So these two people, God bless them, like seriously, because I think every day, like every single day that I met Todd and Alan, because without them, basically, I won't be able to buy this house. He has this gift, like when you talk to him as a person, he asks you questions and then he finds out right away what you want. He understands the customers and he finds the right house. I wasn't sure we'd be able to buy a house actually, with all the things I was going through. But with him, he made it so easy. With Todd and Alan together, they can make the impossible possible. When I contacted Alan, I was like, I would say maybe 80%, 90% sure that I won't be able to buy a house. But I wanted to try it, just like everybody. He made it happen. That's amazing. So I really thank them. I think they're amazing. And whoever wants to buy a house, I will not only recommend them, I will say, go for it. Don't be afraid. They will make it happen. And they did with me. I'm like, wow, I couldn't believe when I moved here. I'm like, and I'm still happy about this house. Like for me, it's like, this is the thing I was dreaming all this many years.
And the house we bought in Scottsdale is originally we wanted to buy a second home to be a rental home, and then Alan had told me about the VRBOs and all that, and that's how I kind of went down the road on looking at VRBOs, and that's how we ended up doing that whole process. He was very patient with me, showed me whatever I wanted to see. With me being out of town, he was patient with my calls, and I'm an internet surfer, so when I find something online, I'd talk to him, and he'd either say, "Oh, that looks great," or he'd tell me why it wasn't good.
One of the things that was neat that he did was he would call us, like we'd find something, and he'd run over there, and then he'd call us, and he would walk us through the house with his phone.
That's true. Yeah.
So he'd walk us because it was really hard being remote. This is the first time we bought a house. We're not in the city where we live, so it was challenging, but he made it funny and fun, and he really put the extra effort forward to help us.
Yeah, very patient. Yeah.
Closing process was really funny because we were, you just never know the exact day of when you're going to close. And I had a family vacation planned in Santa Cruz. So the closing date actually ended up being when we were in Santa Cruz. So he actually worked it out for us to be able to meet with a closing agent while we were on vacation, get the paperwork done, get it signed. So he was just really accommodating to help us not have to really disrupt our lives.
I would recommend Todd over Alan, no doubt.
Right, absolutely. They're a great pair. Really made our experience positive. Being out of town especially made a big difference, so I would highly recommend them.
I've seen both of them socially, when I'm down there in Scottsdale, and I like them both a lot. If I do anything with real estate down there at all, it'll definitely be Alan.
My name is Lindsay. I live in Phoenix, Arizona, and I kind of stumbled across Alan's profile on Zillow when I was just looking around. And once I met him, I realized he was a great realtor, and I wanted to stay working with him because I could just tell he had a lot of knowledge and he had a lot of time as a realtor, and I really needed that as a first-time home buyer. I had a lot of questions going into it as a new home buyer. I really didn't even know where to start. So it was really helpful to me that he kind of gave me insight into things I wouldn't have even thought to ask. Like he was even thinking about reselling value based off of where we looked. And that's something I guess I would have not even really thought of. And I had talked to other realtors in the past, and I just felt like he gave me more knowledge that I wasn't able to really work out on my own. Or I've always rented, and the main reason why I wanted to buy this time was just because I know how much money goes down the drain when you rent, and Arizona home prices were pretty affordable, I guess, compared to where I was living in Oregon. So I kind of just felt like it was time to jump on it. Kind of confusing the numbers side of it all. And this is kind of where Todd came into play. He was always really helpful in giving me different estimates on how much I was actually going to end up paying at closing payments and my monthly mortgage payment. So, and that was of course really important to me because I have to know how much the mortgage is going to be a month, because that's going to be the deciding factor on which house I can actually afford. I actually made an offer on that the house I'm currently living in, the first day we saw it, it was just like love at first sight. And then to celebrate, it was just an extra special thing that Alan took me and my boyfriend out to eat pizza afterwards. And I just thought that was a nice thing while we got all the offer paperwork out. Of course, he handled that, which is awesome because I would have not known where to start without a realtor. So that was really just a special memory of mine. Let's see, and I just really appreciate everything Todd did on his end to just keep me in the loop and really try to be transparent with all the numbers, because it is just a scary process going into signing a mortgage, you know. So I really appreciated how attentive he was. Whenever I emailed him, he was right there. So that was awesome. I would definitely recommend Alan and Todd for anyone who's a first-time home buyer.
I had a friend, Dan, who recommended Todd because he had just done some work with him and had been highly impressed with him. And when I went to Todd, he said, I know just the guy to help you with finding the house. And he put me over to Alan. He was really flexible with me. I worked midnights at the time and obviously was looking at Buckeye. And I lived in Phoenix. And of course, he's coming from way over on the east side. And so, you know, for us, he'd be like, you know, I'm like, okay, I'm free tomorrow. And he's like, okay, I will make it happen, kind of a thing. And we'd get out there and we went and saw houses. And, you know, he was really good with me, talked me through several things. And finally we walked into a house and I was like, oh yeah, this is it. This is where we want to go. I mean, it was such a huge blessing. I don't know what life would have looked like if I hadn't been able to get into a house at that point in time. Recommend Alan and Todd in a heartbeat. They're the best.